Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 sits in this little interesting spot within the history of the series. It simultaneously marks the end of one era and the beginning of another. This is the last one to have that classic Pro Skater formula, but it's also the first game to feature certain aspects that would go on to help form a new identity for the series. This is the link between the old school arcadey structure of Tony games and the era that would precede it. Tony 3 is a leap forward for the series in several ways, and one of the things that's notable about it is it's the first game to be made for the PlayStation 2. And it shows! I mean, just look at the visual upgrade from 2 to 3. I mean, even look at the difference between 3 on PS2 and 3 on PS1. I lived through this jump when I was a kid, and it blew my mind. For me, for a while, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 was that shining example of what the next generation is. And I'm glad it's here. In my opinion, Tony Hawk belongs on the PlayStation 2 generation. This is where I think the best games in the series reside. In my crazy person brain, the idea of Tony Hawk and the PlayStation 2 are entirely intertwined. When I think of that PS2 feel that I love, Tony Hawk is one of the many games that pops into my head. So Tony Hawk didn't just bring a visual upgrade with him into the next generation, he also brought a very, very important innovation. And that was reverts. Just a little 180 slide on the ground. This is a modest maneuver, but it changes the flow of Tony Hawk drastically, because now you can continue a combo after hitting a quarter pipe. In 2, quarter pipes were strictly delegated to the finisher of a combo. They were what you did when you were ready to end your combo with a bang. Just squeeze out as many extra points as you possibly could with some big air. Now, in 3, because of reverts, quarter pipes become a much more versatile obstacle. How it works is when you land, you simply press R2 to revert, and this allows you to combo that revert into a manual. This drastically amplifies combo potential. This would go on to be a rock-solid, essential aspect of Tony Hawk games in the future. Maybe it's not as big of a leap as manuals were in 2, but it's an addition that really did give the series something that it was missing. Now, all of the obstacles in the environment could be linked together in a line, and that's just so integral to the feel of Tony Hawk, at least for me. I mean, this lets players take full advantage of every single thing in the map. Reverts are such a meaningful innovation, and that alone makes 3 a very, very important part of the series. 3 is full of a lot of little new additions that are nice to notice now looking back on it, right? Like, there are certain clothing options in the Create a Skater mode that would go on to be featured in many Tony Hawk games after it, like the pirate ship hat and the crouching hat. And the character creation mode itself is actually excellent. It's the first good character creation mode in a series that would go on to have some of my favorite character editors of the generation. This is the guy that I made. His name is Chris Gnarly, and he's a hardcore punk from Southern California who refuses to listen to authority. Really, this game fleshes out a lot of aspects of the first 2 games. Features that had already been established are refined here in 3. It's a bigger, beefier game. I mean, there's more skaters, more boards, more levels, a park editor. Hell, you could even play online multiplayer. This game is bursting at the seams with stuff to unlock and discover. One thing that I really dig is that it continues that lovable Tony Hawk tradition of grinding something in the map to make something else break, opening up a new area within the level. 3 takes that to the next level, and it really works here. This would go on to be one of my favorite aspects of maps in Tony Hawk. And I kind of feel like its emphasis on that being a really cool mechanic started here in 3. all the secrets in this game, all the unlockable stuff is really cool. Like, the secret skaters in this game, they're top tier. Yes, Spider-Man was a cool one in 2, but this game has Darth Maul and Wolverine. Now, I'm not a fan of either of these franchises, but it's still awesome to me that they're even in here. This is such a cool and surprising addition. I remember hearing tale of Darth Maul being in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 when I was a kid. I remember my friend telling me that, but I didn't believe him. I was like, yeah, okay, sure, dude. Yeah, there's a Star Wars character in a Tony Hawk game. Alright, cool. I blew my mind when I saw it for myself in real life. I mean, this kind of stuff is the backbone of the series, right? Secrets, unlockable stuff, rewards for getting good at this extremely fun game. Great flow of progression. When the game is fun to play and it's fun to unlock stuff, and unlocking stuff leads to having more fun with the game, it's just a perfect formula. There are other secret skaters in the game that are sick too, like you got Ollie the Bum, the return of a favorite of mine, Old Dick. You got Kelly Slater with his surfboard, which is pretty fun. You got the eyeball guy from the beginning Neversoft intro. And then there's this demoness that burns this dude at the skate shop alive. Also, there's Private Carrera makes a return, and this time she has a much thirstier design. I do like, though, how the guy at the skate shop just relentlessly, aggressively hits on her whenever she's in the character select menu.
Yeah, I love this tune. Who wants to dance? What's up? Who's smoking? I'm smoking. Who's smoking?
All that stuff is really cool, but my favorite things to unlock in this game are the movies. Now, I'm sure that might not be the most popular opinion, but for me, these movies are fascinating. There are these pro videos that are absolutely great, and as a kid, I loved watching these. Now, Tony Hawk games, they were my first exposure to actual footage of professional skateboarding, and at the time that this game came out, it wasn't super easy for a little kid to find and watch skate videos, so for me, these were perfect. And nowadays, these are all very fun and interesting time capsules of skateboarding history. Like, these are all 411 VM videos, which was an online skate magazine, and I think that they were the very first company to ever put out video content online. I mean, look at how young Bam is. Oh, dude, the nostalgia. And Andrew Reynolds, my personal hero. He's so young in this, it's wild. And he's even being asked about how Baker is going, which was a new company at the time. And if you don't know, Baker would go on to be one of the most legendary skate companies in the world, with a legendary team and legendary videos. Those pro movies are awesome, and they're a pretty nostalgic blast from the past, and it was very enjoyable reliving those. But this time around, while making this video, the movies that I found the most interesting were these Neversoft development team videos. In these, we get to see the Neversoft guys just goof off, have fun, and skate. There are multiple guys on the dev team who actually skateboard, and some of these guys rip. Like look at this. I mean, that's crazy. Dude, even the president of Neversoft actually skates. And surfs too, apparently. No wonder these games are so good. It all makes so much sense. So to me, these games feel like a fun, exaggerated, alternate reality of the skateboarding world. But on top of all of that, there's also this authenticity to how the culture is represented. And that's achieved because the people working on these games are a part of that culture. I love to see it. It makes me look at these games a bit different. It lets me have a better understanding of the creative vision behind them. It's not just a bunch of nerds in an office trying to appeal to a demographic that they don't know anything about. It's a bunch of nerds in an office who skate and want to celebrate skateboarding in a fun and unique way. And that's what these games are. They are a truly genuine celebration of skateboarding. The gameplay may not be authentic or realistic, but the passion for skating here is. And man, I just love to see it. I'm kind of full of the love of skating myself right now, to be honest, because a couple of months ago I started skating again consistently for the first time in 5 years. In the first video in this series I made, I said that I didn't skate these days, but guess what? That's not true anymore. I'm back, baby. Look, here's a shitty tray flip. Woo, yay! I'm just hype on skating right now, and that love that I see for it in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 is very endearing. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 is the end of a chapter in the book of the Hawk, and if you ask me, they ended it perfectly. This is the pinnacle of the OG formula. After this, Tony and gang were on to greener pastures. New horizons await this mythical Birdman, and in my humble opinion, the best of the series is yet to come. And I'm pumped to talk about it. Please subscribe to me if you liked my video. I will love you forever. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. See you later. Peace.